Review of my Salomon XA Forces boot. The box this time around is much larger than other boxes of Salomon that I've got before. This is the information on the box. This is the XA Forces 8 inches Gore-Tex lined, and then the sizing information. This is UK 10.5, which is exact for me, a Europe 45 and maybe a half, and a USA 11, and for Japanese sizing it is 29. So that is the sizing information. Also it's got the color. So the color mentioned is black. Although the boots seem fine, but the packaging is quite simple. In fact, I am quite surprised as to why there is only one piece of paper. There probably should have been slightly more packaging on the inside to keep the boot safe. But the boots themselves seem to be in okay condition. But I do notice some dust on the boots, at least on the uppers. So these could have been put in the display maybe, or maybe otherwise, but apart from that I don't see any problems with the boot. Thankfully it's got this tag, so this is unused. But no major issues with the boot. Only thing is that there is some dust like this which I noticed, which should not have been there. So this is the front profile. This is the side profile. The rear. Again the side. And again the front. So Salomon, as many of you would already be aware, is already existing in the market. It makes hiking apparel, that is clothing and footwear for hikers. And these boots are also adaptations of already existing hiking boots in the market that have been adapted for the military. The major parts of the adaptation is that the color is now a decent black, and also the upper has now got more height. The shaft height has increased to 8 inches to be more uniform like. Apart from that, the lower of the boot is exactly like the hiking boot which is available in the market. And also probably this rubber addition is also unique to the military lineup for fast roping, because this is a high abrasion area, so they put this rubber here. But apart from that, the lower of the boot, to my understanding, is equally or similar, identical to what is existing in the market for civilian use also. So these are the boots. Coming on to the sole. Now this is the probably one of the most important parts of the boot, that is the sole. It's got 3 layers. One is this rubber outsole, then this EVA midsole, and then it's got this plastic parts also here and here. So these are plastic parts to give some amount of rigidity to the boot. However, the boots are flexible enough. They are supportive and flexible also, which I like about these boots. They aren't very stiff. I also have the other jungle line of these boots. They are exactly the same boots in a different color, and they have vents on the sides, and they don't have a Gore-Tex lining. These boots have a Gore-Tex lining on the inside, so these are waterproof. Those boots, jungle boots, have vents on the sides and do not have a Gore-Tex lining on the inside, so they allow water to permeate inside, but they also breathe much better than probably these will. Also, because of the Gore-Tex lining, I find that the shaft on this boot is holding shape much better than on the other jungle boot. So I've already covered, this is the outsole, and the outsole has got a fairly widespread pattern on it, so it will not be holding on to dirt and grime much, which is always a good thing. The density of the sole also looks decently deep, or the ruts seem decently deep, so these should not be wearing out too easily. They do feel slightly soft to the touch, so grip should be adequate. Yes, on flat surfaces also the grip is adequate, and outdoors these are going to do well. On the inside also, it's got something called ortholite. So ortholite is basically a EVA. It's got ortholite on the inside also. So it's got a insole which is also very soft, plus a EVA midsole. So comfort is guaranteed. And I've been wearing such boots from Salomon before. Comfort is not a problem with these boots. Again, they have this plastic here in the heel and also at the base to give it some amount of rigidity. And it does say 3D chassis. It's written here, or it is embossed in the plastic. In the fiber, it says 3D chassis. So this chassis is going to give some amount of shape, or it is going to hold shape for the boot, which is a good design feature. Coming on to the upper is this suede leather. It's like a cage or a mesh, which is all suede leather. All these are suede leather uppers, and then in between is this synthetic material, nylon material, to probably save weight. The toes up front are rubber. They aren't very stiff, but yes, you have to get your sizing right. Otherwise, if your fingers keep touching up front, it might get painful, especially if you're in the mountains. And on the rear, there is no rand. This is just leather. So up front, it's got a rand, which is always good, because when you're contacting the ground like this, your boots will not get scuffed, and your leather will not get torn. So good design feature there. Coming on to the laces are synthetic laces. The lower are all these loops of synthetic, and the upper are metallic loops for speed lacing. So once you've got this tied up, you can just pull on the upper and it will fall into place much faster. So nothing wrong here. With Salomon laces, I found that initially it takes some time for them to hold. Initially they do get undone, but after they get some dust and grime on them, then they do start or get better friction and then start holding on to themselves. On the inside it says Salomon XA and something France. So I don't know why it says that. Also, it has got certain amount of more sizing information on the inside. XA Forces 8 Gore-Tex, and these are made in Cambodia. So on the inside the tag says that these are made in Cambodia. And I've generally found that boots which are made in Cambodia have got good quality control to them. So on the inside, this white cloth which is seen on the inside is the Gore-Tex lining. So it's got Gore-Tex lining pretty high on the boot. So this should be keeping water out. But let me see as to where or till what height the tongue is sewn, because otherwise, even though it's got a Gore-Tex lining, water can seep inside from the tongue. Okay, so the tongue is sewn till this height, which is good about 6 inches plus. So that is a good thing. That means that these will actually be able to hold out water or keep water at bay, even if you step into water which is this high. But then again, in the rains, I realized that the rain will then get into your trousers and get into the boots through your feet. And with Gore-Tex boots, the problem with rains is that once it gets wet on the inside, then it takes a lot of time to dry. But as long as you can keep yourself dry, if you step into water till this height, I think this will keep you happy. The leather on this is suede. This will require a certain amount of maintenance. I probably am going to put polish on these so that they become slightly more hydrophobic than what they are presently. So that's it about the boot. Am I happy with the purchase? Yes, these boots look beautiful. They are expensive, but they are beautiful, and I wanted these. I've got them. It's got some Gore-Tex branding here, and that's about all the branding that there is on this boot. It's got some Salomon branding here also on the rubber band, and one Salomon branding here on the tongue also. But apart from that, these are pretty simplistic. but somebody who knows boots with one look will be able to understand the quality of these boots. So I am pretty stoked that I bought these boots. Thank you.